Hello and welcome. It's Kathy Lee, and I have a new project to share with you for Country Craft Creations. This is one of my DT projects for the month of November. And this is a book box card that I made. I don't know if you can tell. There's it's created with paper that you score and put together in kind of a waffle look. It kind of makes it look like a book. So I'm going to share the project with you, and then we are going to, or I'm going to show you how to create this book box. So basically, what I did is I received from countrycraftcreation.com my packages for December, and I haven't done a haul on this because it's mostly just paper, but I did buy some extra elements to go along with some of these. But I am using the Photoplay Winter Meadow, and this is just a fabulous paper collection by Becky Fleck. I love all the little imagery and elements that come with the kit. There are some cut aparts, a big sticker sheet, and I also purchased, along with this collection, the ephemera pack, and then I used this stamp set as well. And I'll be using more of these on my cards because if you know me by my blog, creativekathy.blogspot.com, you know that I love coloring with Copic markers and watercoloring with distress inks and some other medias. So you're going to see a lot more of these types of elements on my cards. So what I want to share with you is this book box card that I made, and I basically took this birch tree background, wintry background, just adorable. Love all of the cute little characters in here. We've got squirrel and some pretty cardinals, and then this is actually a stamped element, and then I colored him and cut him out to make him look like a real to kind of follow some of the real colors of an owl. And then I also cut out pieces of the birch trees, and I lifted it up with some foam tape, tucked it under my little stitched snow die. This is from Lawn Fawn that I have in my stash. And then I added some my sentiment on the front of my book box, this Winter Wishes. I matted that with some cardstock from Tamara's store, and this is the dark red. It's kind of like a maroon or burgundy. I can't remember the name of it, but she sells this in her store. It works really well with this collection. And then I have another sticker that I use from the sticker sheet with the pine cones and some holly leaves, just really wintry. And then I also matted my elements on this maroon cardstock again. This is my spine. It's about I think it's a 1-inch spine. Yep, exactly a 1-inch spine. And then here's my back. So I also used a ribbon closure. This is seam binding that's in Tamara's store. And I just crumbled it up, used a little bit of water, crumbled it up, and let it dry, and it gives it that real vintagey, shabby chic look. So let's open this. And oh, there's Kit Kats in there. I forgot I had those in there. So anyway, on the inside of this book box, I have I created a pocket and just matted some papers on my maroon cardstock. I created this cute little tag in here. What I like to do with these is, as part of the pocket, is have a tag and then put a winter or Christmas sentiment, or it could be any sentiment depending on the theme of your book box. So I created this little tag, put some charms on it, and then on the other side I have some of the uh, this is from the ephemera pack, and it's a little Noel banner, and I put it on the back of my tag, and then added some glittery snowflakes. So that is the tag, and that just fits right out in here. And I also added a border, snowflake border. This is from Martha Stewart. It's been around for a long time. And then some pretty pearl trim. I love this stuff. And I think Tamara also carries this in her store. So don't forget to check that out. Really easy to work with, and just really makes things so nice and pretty. Okay, so for the inside, for the book box part, I used a backdrop with one of the papers, and then this is also one of the cut aparts. I actually cut out the heart and mittens, and then matted it on some of the pretty cardstock, and then I also put that border, again the Martha Stewart border, around my box here. And you can put anything in here. I mean, and you don't have to put anything in here. This can actually even be a scene. So, but I've put like I said, candy, tea, and lozenges for like a get well type book box. They're very versatile. And then it just closes with, of course, the ribbon closure as part of this. And oops, don't want to rip that. That is the book box card. Okay, so take care of that later. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you how I made this. For this project, you're only going to need 3 sheets of 12 by 12 cardstock, and your main piece is going to be cut at 7 1/8 by 12 inches. Now, I say 7 1/8. That's only because normally it would be 7 1/4. If you want to make it that big, that's okay too. But what happens is you've got a really large amount of space here, so I made it so that I only have like a 1/8 inch border in between the main book box piece and the base. So again, 12 by 7 1/8, and then you're going to need 2 sheets of 9 by 6 3/4, and then of course, because you have 2 sheets, this as a 12 by 12 piece, also you'll need 2 sheets of 9 by 5 1/4. So if you just cut it at 6 3/4, you've already got your 2 pieces of 9. Let's see if I can get this out of the way. Sorry about that. 9 by 5 1/4. So that is for the book part of our box. Okay, so now we're going to score our main piece at 7, excuse me, not 7, 6, or excuse me, 5 1/2. See if I can get this right. And 6 1/2. And then that is the book part of our card. Now I'm using the artisan cardstock for this. It's a nice heavy paper, and or cardstock, and if you have a thinner cardstock, that's okay, but what you'll find is that when you build your box, the box portion of your card, you're going to have, it won't allow you to stay nice and thick. Now you can add score lines and larger pieces to get kind of a deeper box, but for these purposes, it's just for the 1-inch spine of the box. But again, thinner paper will make it lay a little bit flatter. Okay? So, for your book part pieces, we are going to score along the 9 inches on all 4 pieces. Every 3/4 of an inch. And I'm going to fast forward so you don't have to watch all of this. Okay. So now for each one of these pieces, we are going to fold a zigzag or mountain valley. And I try to burnish every time I fold to try and keep it as even as possible, because even though the score lines don't always meet up with each score line. Okay, there is one of the top pieces of our book box. Okay, I'm going to score the other ones and I'll be right back. Okay, now I'm back with all of my pieces scored and burnished. So what I'm going to show you, I'm going to turn my score pal this way so that so that I show you how I'm going to level them on the corner. Okay, so basically we just take our pieces and we're going to fit them together just like this. They won't always come together, which is really not what we want, because we want it to allow it to expand, okay? Just so that you don't think you're doing anything wrong. It's not going to be perfect. Okay, so I'm going to put this in my score because I don't want it this way and I don't want it coming out this way. I want to make a nice squared box. So once we get it fitting pretty tightly, or as tightly as we can, then we're going to take our glue, and I just use our glitter glue for this. Push that up, and we're going to put some glue on here on this section. We're going to close that down, making sure to hold it for a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to take it and turn it over on this side. Put a little glue there. These are the only pieces that you'll glue on your box, is just the front and back corners. You don't want to put any glue in the middle because it needs to expand. So we just have glue on that side and this side. So that is that part of the box. Okay, so we're just going to do basically the same thing here. And I'm going to line it up to, if you can see how the ends meet here, where this length is on top of this piece. It's always the opposite. On this side, it's going to be the top that's on this piece. And if you don't use a border like I did in this box, to kind of tailor that, then you'll want to make sure that you have both of them the same way. So this goes on the front like so. Well, if I can get it in here. So that this goes over top and matches that. That's just so that it looks nice and finished. Okay, so we've got our next piece in here. And again, we're going to push it as nice and tightly as we can. And then put a little glue in here. And then on this side, it's nice and squared. As squared as it can be anyway. Okay. And then we have the last piece. Positioned it, glued it, and then I maneuvered the other piece at the end. Okay. Okay. And then on the other side, right here. Okay. Now, and we'll just fit this together by putting it, oh, see, it just, that was easy. So let me make sure I was not out of camera so you could see that again. Okay, so what I did is I just maneuvered it so that this piece has to come on top of this one, and I just allowed it to maneuver to fit it together. There we go. Okay, one in each one. Okay, hope you all saw that. So now it's nice and squared. Okay, put a little glue here. And then again here. Put glue right there. Okay, so once we have it all glued, and of course just our corners, we're just going to pull it open a little bit, give it some flex, and allow it to create that box. Okay. Make sure to let your glue dry thoroughly as well. Okay, there's our book box. And then I've got our covers. You can glue it inside, down around the edge. So I just took some glue and I put it on this side. And of course that was after I put my pattern paper behind the book box. So I just put cut a piece of pattern paper as my backing, and then glued the entire piece down into my book, and then finished it off with the other elements. And now you have a book box. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I can't wait to see what you make with it. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day.